All right, everybody, welcome to the Shade Show Wrestling Special.
Ooh, yeah. Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one I've been looking forward to. We all three of us are big wrestling fans. Been watching this since we were kids, so this should be an interesting show.
What you gonna do when the Shade Show podcast comes for you?
Exactly. Before we get started, though, special rest in peace to a favorite of many people, Roddy Piper.
One of the best heels out there.
Yeah, one of the most charming heels out there. The dude that pretty much wrote the book on how to be a heel and still liked by the fans.
Yeah, one of the first of a topic we're gonna talk about a little bit later of Hulk Hogan's first rivalries.
Yeah,
was him. One of the few big stars to never hold the heavyweight title.
which was weird to me because he was so popular, but he never. I don't know if it was just him or if it was Vince. No, I mean, was it his decision or not Vince's? Because you had dudes like Iron Sheik holding the belt.
Well, he was too small. They didn't back then. They didn't put the title on small guys till Bret Hart, really.
So he could main event, but now
that's
win the strap.
Vince had hard-ons with guys with muscles.
Yeah, or guys that couldn't wrestle like Andre the Giant. Like I know Andre the Giant's a legend, but have you seen an Andre the Giant match?
Andre the Giant only had the belt like once.
Yeah, but he was champion. That's what I'm saying. That's more times than Roddy was.
Yeah,
like Mr. Perfect could have had the belt. Never got that strap.
At least he didn't give it to
David.
like Arquette. Yeah,
we'll touch on that later.
Dennis Rodman wasn't wrestling for WWE.
Jay Leno.
But give it up to he's probably one of the first Attitude Era
type of dudes,
wrestlers. Because remember when he was fighting? Who was it?
Jimmy Snuka?
No. When
Mr. T.
God damn it, man! No, who is it? Bad News Brown or whatever. When he painted his whole body black.
Yeah, he was
yeah. Showing up to wrestle events, blackface and shit.
Jimmy Snuka with a coconut.
That's a perfect segment into our next topic. By now, if you are a wrestling fan, or even if you're not, honestly, I think at this point you probably heard about Hulk Hogan's.
Hulk Hogan. I'm coming for you, nigga.
Racist rant. Now, here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of people who are outraged by it.
Yeah.
I was not.
Neither was I. I mean, I was sad and a little disappointed, but I wasn't outraged. It was a private conversation.
Yeah, I mean...
No, something that happened 5 years ago. Now, what I don't understand is... Why are you that angry after just having a nut? Like,
with some other dude's wife.
Afterwards, we don't get too.
Well, let's explain it for people that might not know.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan eventually he's suing Gawker, a media company, for releasing his sex tape, and one of the consequences of that was they released the audio to some of that, and apparently his daughter was dealing with some black dude.
Shout out to Brooke Hogan.
Yes, and in that audio he said the nigga. I was gonna say the nigga word. He said nigga a couple of times.
He said it with the hard R.
With the hard R, the N word basically a couple of times. And funny thing was, he was like, you know what? If you're cool, you're cool. I don't hate everybody, but fucking nigga. He also said everybody's a little bit racist, which I tend to agree with, but that's a whole nother matter. But go ahead, Dion.
This is true.
Yeah, but what really was fucking mind-boggling to me was how quickly the WWE.
They Chris Benoit the shit out of him.
He got Chris Benoit.
Because professional wrestling, I'm sorry, has had a long
professional wrestling is racist as fuck.
They haven't ever had a black champion in WWE. I'm sorry, Rock.
You don't count.
They don't count you. They call you someone.
Wasn't Booker?
Booker T was never the.
He was WCW.
Oh, that's
champion.
right. He was the world champion.
Yeah,
he wasn't like WWE champion.
Yeah.
He was.
So no. Don't give me Bobby Lashley either because he was the ECW champion. That's a bullshit title too. So no, they haven't.
Well, think about it. The only real black wrestlers that they have out there are super stereotypes. We got R-Truth shucking and jiving in the ring.
You know what somebody brought?
And the New Day that are freaking Baptist.
Oh my God, the New Day. Jesus.
I love New Day.
I love you know what I loved about New Day? They turned it around eventually, but I love that people were smart enough to be like, what the fuck is this bullshit when they first, because they were legitimately trying to make them like a soulful, happy-go-lucky black group.
Yeah.
Like, this man really believed, this is how out of touch they are. They really believed that people were just going to embrace this, and as soon as they came out, black people, white people, it didn't matter. They were like, what the fuck is this shit? Boo.
New Day sucks.
Yes. See, but It is very hypocritical. I can see where Dion's going because if you think about it, back in the day when a white guy came out, especially when WWE was really cartoony, it was always what his job was. Like, you know, the dumpster or, you know, he always had a side job. When a minority came out, that was his thing. You know, he was from the jungle. He was doing voodoo.
Shout out to Kamala.
Exactly.
No, there was only ever 3 black characters, and it's always been that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's either the
junkyard dog.
It's either the guy from the fucking jungle,
the pro nation.
It's the streetwise
angry
black
man.
Or there's a militant black guy. Those are the 3.
Come on, what about Coco Beware?
No, then there was that super happy dancing, chucking, jiving.
Coco Beware.
And what's his name? Who's the guy in the New Day? Coffee Kingston, just dancing, happy. You know, no care in the world. Don't ask him no questions.
I like that they just changed Kofi Kingston's like ethnicity.
Oh yeah,
on the slide. Like he used to be Jamaican, now he's actually West African.
Exactly.
Okay.
Reality era. Even Triple H was like, "Dude, what happened to your accent?"
Yeah, at least when you change, like when they change characters. Like location, they just changed the whole fucking character. Like you know what I mean? Like Bray Wyatt, obviously, beforehand was whatever.
Some fat guy that wrestled.
Yeah, well, they did that with Rusev too. Rusev went from being Russian to Bulgarian.
Yeah. I mean,
he was repping Russia hard for a while.
Yeah, until people realized he wasn't really Russian. I mean, they do that a lot though. There's a lot like Yokozuna. I didn't know this until I was older. I thought that dude was really Japanese.
Word.
I didn't know that he was Samoan. Yep. They flipped the wool on me on that one. I really thought.
I don't know if it was that fat that his eyes couldn't open all the way, but it
was the hairstyle.
That look fucking fooled me, yo.
They were like the original Hollywood. Like they didn't let any people of color play their stuff. I mean, they had Wild Man Mark Merrill. He's not black.
They tanned the shit out of him.
Is he white?
Yeah. He is super white.
And he had a conversation, and they were like, "Tan into your black."
Yeah.
Keep going into your dark.
Yeah, but he was that dark when he played
in WCW.
WCW. He played Little Richard or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, because that was Jim Cornette's idea. Jim Cornette's
racist as fuck. Everybody
was like, we need a black guy that we can trust.
So we don't have any of those.
We don't have any of those around. So we need you to go tanning until you become a black guy that we can trust.
The only black people that they actually respected were the celebrities like Mr. T, Lawrence Taylor. They gave them some shine, but they knew they didn't have to stick around like Mike Tyson. They didn't have to put a strap on them. They treat them with respect. But I mean, this is true. Like, and then I also read an article where, like, did you know Seth Rollins was Spanish?
Yeah.
His name was something Lopez. I had no idea.
I could believe that. I was thinking he was Hispanic or some part of the fucking Samoan tribe that they got running around.
Well, they're all related anyway.
Seth Rollins, not Roman Reigns.
No, I know. I'm Seth Rollins.
And Roman Reigns.
Pass,
as Samoan?
Why not?
Really?
Samoan?
Do you know what Samoan looks like?
Yeah, like Roman Reigns. They could be fucking brothers.
I don't know.
What, because of the long hair?
Because they look exactly the fucking same, except
what part of Seth Rollins looks like Rikishi?
Yeah, like what?
What part of Roman Reigns looks like Rikishi?
All of it.
All of it. You can tell us Samoan. They have a smashed patty cake nose.
No, but Roman Reigns is freak. He could have been a white guy too. It is freaking.
That's why he got away with the name Roman Reigns. His name is like Lelo Aluta. Like. Well, that's a lot of it. Like, to be successful, it seems like nowadays they have to like change it from a minority to more of a white bread character. Like Roman Reigns, his first name is not Roman, so E.T. with a fucking accent mark. Seth Rollins, his last name is Lopez.
Do you know what black wrestlers I do like that they're never gonna get any respect? I do like. I don't want to get shit on. Primetime players.
Jesus Christ.
I really
millions of dollars.
I like the primetime players
I really
because
like Titus O'Neil.
Yeah, because they're fun with it and they shit on niggas.
Titus O'Neil has mic skills and he looks like he could actually wrestle. Yeah. He looks like he could throw a nigga across the ring.
That's his move. His move is let me throw you into the ring and fucking fucking football fucking run you.
Yeah,
whatever they call
it. He basically stole Monty Brown's move.
Yeah,
the 3-point. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of sad that other organizations seem like they treat minority wrestlers a lot better. Like NWA, TNA had a black champion, couple black champions.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Bobby Lashley.
WCW let Booker T win that shit 5 times.
Yeah, but didn't an MVP win it? in the WWE, or was he just intercontinental champion?
He was U.S. champion.
He was not even intercontinental. They gave him the U.S.
They gave him the lower version of the mid-card championship.
They ain't bringing him back because that nigga's dropping wrestlers. They don't like niggas.
That nigga's dropping dime on everybody.
He was like, "Oh, word, TNA's going out of business. I'm about to run this shit."
So I mean, the most successful, I guess, minority wrestler is The Rock, and I mean, and that says a lot because there was a lot of charismatic wrestlers.
But no, I mean Farouk. I mean, in the WWE.
Yeah, Farouk. I mean, what did he do otherwise?
He was a champion in WCW too, tag team champion.
Oh, he was the first black champion.
Yeah, he was the first.
In WCW?
In NWA.
NWA, yeah, I'll give you that, yeah, but that's not saying a lot because NWA
he was Farouk the Gladiator. Came up with a ridiculous costume.
There was some other guy some football player that passed recently too. That was before it became the WWE or WWF. That was a champion too. I forget his name. You know, you hear it during Black History Month.
Oh yeah,
and then you never hear it again.
Oh, they love marching that out every Black History Month. Vince McMahon's worse than fucking school.
You want to know what's gonna happen? They're gonna stop doing that because they're gonna run out. Because there's only ever like 7 black dudes in the WWE.
Let me see how the WWE Black History Month goes. Hey, remember this guy? No? Well, let us tell you a little bit about
Coco Beware.
Yeah, exactly. Junkyard Dog. And Rock's dad.
They don't even talk about Kamala because he's freaking jazzy in it somewhere with no legs.
What they should do is fully embrace the heel, and on Black History Month, run a montage of Hulk Hogan. What you gonna do?
No, I heard that the Patriot was coming back, or whatever Hulk Hogan's character was.
The Mr. America.
Mr. America.
The Patriot was actually Owen Hart.
No, there was another guy. I forget who it was. I couldn't even tell you.
I'm thinking. Is it Blue Moon?
No, the blue superhero was Owen Hart. Blue Streak.
Chris, hit us up with the info. Cause I know you're like a walking wrestling encyclopedia on this. So I know you know things.
This gives me an idea. We already have a top 5 established now, but next wrestling show, we'll do a top 5 of the most fucked up shit WWE has done. Like, WCW is a whole thing, but WWE's done some stupid, ignorant ass shit. Like, when Vince McMahon calls John Cena a nigga, people let that slide. When we would scrub Vince McMahon from all of WWE.
Because he owns that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, my nigga's gonna pass. Hulk Hogan's nigga now.
Nah. I said it with the A, and I got some nigga
you know
friends.
And then I walked out like one of the bushwhackers.
My top 5 is gonna be Katie Vick. Katie Vick. I spit hot fire. That was my top 5.
That man that humped a dummy in a funeral is now CFO of WWE right now. He's in control. Oh, that was gross.
It's ridiculous. So speaking of Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon, he's gonna fall into we kind of did call him out already.
Yeah, but this is a special call out, Colin. Looking at you, Vince, and you know what? I mean, I like Vince. If it wasn't for Vince, WWE would not be where it is right now. But the man's out of touch. Did you hear what Brock Lesnar said his first gimmick was supposed to be?
No.
Who?
Brock Lesnar's first gimmick before Paul Heyman was like, "No, that's stupid," was a gay tough guy face.
What?
A gay face badass. They were interviewing him. And like his gimmick was supposed to be as a gay face, but like as a badass. And Paul Heyman was like, "No."
Thank God for Paul Heyman. You know how many great WWE moments we've had over the last decade, in part or fully because of Paul Heyman.
No, shout out to Paul Heyman for real. That dude,
Paul Heyman's the truth.
He may be a scumbag and he may not want to pay you when you need to get your money, but
you want to know what? Watch the documentary because I was
the ECW one.
No, My Name is Paul Heyman.
Okay,
that shit is amazing.
I want to see that.
It's actually really good.
I saw the ECW one, and they were like, "Yo," Taz was like, "Yo, it'd be weeks." Everybody would knock up Paul for his money. Yeah. Paul would be like, "Yo, listen, I don't got it."
He talks about all that, and he talks about at the end of it where he was talking when they finally actually went under.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, we never got paid," but it turns out that the reason that he never paid them is because he knew the company was going to go under. And when it hit bankruptcy, they would have collected all that money back from those wrestlers.
Oh, really?
So he was actually saving them from being fucked over at the end.
All right. Shout out to Paul Heyman.
That's also the Paul Heyman version.
And I was going to say, though, at the same time, Paul Heyman is very smart.
Because he didn't even say it. It was, who's the guy that was the announcer?
Oh, Mike.
Joey Styles.
Joey Styles. He's the one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Joey Styles is the one who actually.
Did you know half those guys in ECW like had side jobs? Like Tommy Dreamer was like the accountant.
No, at the end, Tommy Dreamer was ECW. He was doing everything. He was booking shows.
Yeah, he was like doing like
talent.
It was really basement ass shit.
They talk about how he fired his mom because she misprinted some T-shirts.
It's like ECW is dead, but ECW isn't really dead. They still do ECW shows. They just call it like one
NXT?
night. They call it one night only. But it's not one night only. They do it shit all the time. It's all ECW guys.
ECW was overrated. Everybody, I'm sorry. Maybe that's a whole nother.
What?
ECW was overrated.
The WWE ECW, yes. The ECW.
Listen, ECW was great. No, for its time, ECW was great for being new and fresh and doing what they were doing. But a lot of their storylines was trash. A lot of their shit was just scummy and sleazy. Like the wrestling wise, some of the shit was great. Like when they brought in Jericho, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. When those guys were wrestling in there, it was great. And a lot of hardcore shit was great. But then after a while, it just became. That's why it failed. Like a lot of it became like still after a while.
You're crazy. If you at all.
Don't look at me like I'm crazy.
If you liked any part of WCW, it's because of ECW.
I'm not saying, like I said, when they brought in certain wrestlers, it was great. They brought in like guys like Rey Mysterio. It was wonderful.
Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero.
After a while,
Rey Mysterio.
Even Benoit was in there and he was doing great. Yeah. Like Jericho, when they stuck to wrestling, it was great. Even the hardcore shit. After a while, the hardcore shit just got too much. Like some of RVD's best wrestling, I ain't gonna lie, when he was going against what's his name.
Sabu?
No, Jamie Lynn.
Yeah.
That was some of the greatest wrestling I've ever seen. I mean, I've never seen RVD wrestle like that since, but because he doesn't care anymore. But
he's high.
Yeah, basically.
Nobody's doing spinning back kicks, smoking weed right before.
Well, you know what? If after Shane McMahon stole my move and I couldn't do it anymore, I would not give a fuck either. Anyway, so. But yeah, that'll be a whole nother rant for a whole nother time. I'll go in more detail.
You're fucking nuts.
But this is about Carl Connor and Vince McMahon WWE, so let's continue that.
Word, fuck Vince McMahon. I mean,
I want to say fuck Vince McMahon, just retire already.
I don't know. Well, it's not even retire. Well, yeah, I guess retire.
He's still in large control of the company.
He is pretty much like 100%. But I heard that they're trying to do another Shane McMahon going to buy one of these failing
Is Shane McMahon out of
organization.
Jail.
Shane McMahon got busted for steroids. Like distributing and...
I was going to say, because he ain't taking them.
No, not taking them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
No, last time I heard he was like doing... He like left the company to do promotion for like...
Nah, he got in trouble for steroids. Look it up.
So did Vince McMahon. Who cares?
Well, this was a little more recent than Vince, but I mean, yeah, I could see that. Or at least, like, you know, like Vince McMahon is still stuck in a lot of old school ideas. Like the big guy is still supposed to,
yeah.
Like, and
Vince McMahon
and it's
has
so
a hard
sad.
on for dudes with muscles that suck.
Like Ryback is garbage. Like he's not complete garbage.
Ryback is garbage.
But
yes.
yeah, he's not like some dude I want to see as champion though. Like his mic skills are all right, but he doesn't have any movesets.
We know he can't be champion because they give him the fucking Intercontinental champion. He busts his leg with a staph infection. He ran the same exact promo twice.
Let me ask you a question.
Talking about how I've been trying to do this for. They did it once on Raw and then. They re-recorded it.
I remember
for
that
SmackDown.
one. Yeah.
He was talking about I hurt my leg and I wasn't going to do this.
They told me I can't wrestle anymore.
Fuck out of here. He can't.
Who else would you rather have be the Intercontinental Champion?
No, he's fine where he's at as Intercontinental Champion. I'm talking about champion.
Anybody else?
Give me somebody else.
Give me Cody Rhodes.
Dolph Ziggler's overrated.
Dolph Ziggler's a good wrestler.
Are you serious?
Dolph Ziggler is overrated.
Give it to Miz.
Tell the fans that Dolph Ziggler's overrated. Are you serious?
I'm with Vince McMahon on this. Dolph Ziggler's overrated.
How is he overrated?
His mic skills is awful, and he's a good seller. But
no, his mic skills are all right. They just don't give him enough time on the mic.
They're all right. He's always in the same tired-ass gimmicks like the love triangle. I don't give a shit.
He's always on a love triangle.
That's his fault. Like, he's writing his own storylines. Wait, time out. You tell me you haven't seen a Dolph Ziggler match that was exciting? Like, first of all, his Survivor Series match was great. Where he was the lone survivor and he just had to handle all that. And when he pinned Albo Del Rio for the belt, cashing in his money in the bank, the crowd lost their fucking minds.
You know what I did with that? I did this.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Nah, he's got some good matches. I just don't
like the crowd is behind him.
They completely shit on him.
The crowd was behind Alex Riley for a while too.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they were not.
They were also behind.
That's an exaggeration.
Woo, you know it.
Yeah, because his YouTube videos are hilarious.
Another guy that's been castawayed. Just like, who's...
Zack Ryder is Dolph Ziggler adjacent.
Stop. First of all, his storylines suck. I'm not going to lie. His storylines are garbage.
It's the same storyline all the time.
Listen, he was better when he was in the Spirit Squad.
Spirit Squad?
Jesus.
I knew that
Oh, my goodness. Let us know. Give us some feedback. Is Gian out of his mind? Am I in my mind for saying ECW's overrated?
You're definitely out of your mind.
He's out of his fucking mind.
I could understand his
Dolph Ziggler has some matches.
He's a good wrestler.
The reason he doesn't like Dolph Ziggler is because of the writing. That's the writing. That's not Dolph Ziggler's fault.
I'm not saying. I'm being misquoted. I do a good job of explaining my viewpoint. I'm not saying that Dolph Ziggler is garbage. I'm just saying that Dolph Ziggler is overrated. He's not as good as the fans want to make him out to be.
You don't think so, wrestling wise?
No, he's less athletic.
Really?
Than
who?
He's basically Shelton Benjamin that's less athletic.
He's got more charisma than Shelton.
Not really.
Nobody cared about Shelton until it was a ladder match. Then people were like, oh shit, Shelton's time. Any other time, you didn't give a fuck about Shelton.
Nobody really cared about Dolph Ziggler.
People care about Dolph Ziggler.
You really can't. At this point, now that he's been gone, nobody's really cared because Lana's still around.
Yeah.
Give me.
You can only root for the guy so many times before you realize they're not going to do anything with him.
Give me a Dolph Ziggler promo that you're like, oh, that was dope.
No, I mean his Twitter's funny. Well, they don't give him no time. He is actually
a stand-up comic too.
Really?
He is.
Yeah. Wait, when's the last time Dolph Ziggler talked on the mic for more than 5 minutes?
Dolph Ziggler actually used to date Amy Schumer.
Really?
Yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
But it's not like...
She sucked all the funny out of him, apparently.
When was the last time Dolph Ziggler got the length of time on the mic like John Cena or CM Punk had, or even Randy Orton? Even though I love Randy Orton, he sucks on the mic. He's gotten better, but Dolph Ziggler doesn't even get that much time. See,
there's a big misconception with this, right? So a lot of people think that that certain people don't get mic time. It's just that they don't do good on the mic.
Yeah,
I think Dolph Ziggler.
That's why Paul Heyman's working with Cesaro.
Wait, Tom, you tell me they don't do
awesome.
It's just they don't do good amount. Meanwhile, I remember days when I had to listen to Jeff fucking Hardy on the mic and Matt Hardy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, just
what I'm saying,
somebody else's music break, please.
You have to. There was an interview that was with Triple H. He did with Austin on his podcast.
Yeah,
and because Austin was talking about it, he was like, "Why don't you let some of these guys talk?" And he was like, "You don't hear them behind closed doors. Like you don't want to hear them talk. They don't have nothing."
So Ryback,
he's like,
people want to hear talk.
He goes, people show up. People show up and look for the script, and that's it. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do their own promos. And nobody's coming in here to like The Rock. They're not writing their own shit. He goes, honestly, we're on live television on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and take a chance.
Yep.
If it sucks, you might hear about it afterwards. Like, if it's great, then it is what it is.
So does that explain why Roman Reigns used to have mic time?
Oh gosh. They were like, hey, wait a second, maybe he's got some of The Rock's genes.
That was awful. Yeah, I mean, he would stutter, and he would it would be better if they made him a cold badass that just said few words.
Yeah. But sometimes Vince gets in his head that these certain people he wants to push, and then they try to throw him out there, and they're not ready for it.
And I feel bad because I want to like Roman Reigns, but when he would stutter or lose his, the same thing that used to happen with Randy.
You want to know what?
They dropped the ball on Roman.
If he can say that Ziggler's overrated, Roman Reigns is extremely overrated.
Well, Roman Reigns can't really wrestle.
He's not that great of a wrestler. I hate that stupid thing he does when he's going to give the punch.
Oh, the Superman punch?
He can't talk. He's just... I wish they would just bury him in the mid-card or put him with another tag team.
He's getting better, I think.
I like Roman Reigns.
The Superman punch was dope until they played it out. That's something they should have done every other match.
The Superman punch was good until he had to tell everybody he was about to do the Superman punch.
They didn't book him right. If you're going to book him as a face, you have to book him as a Goldberg face.
Unbeatable.
Or
don't talk, just come and beat
Or he
people.
should have been a heel. That's it. He can't be. They tried to book him basically like John Cena, All-American hero. That didn't work. That was stupid booking.
Yeah.
Well, they made him a little more edgier than John Cena.
He was super over
when he was in the Shield.
Right when Shield, towards the end of Shield when they broke off, and then they just ruined him.
Well, I mean, by making him win the WrestleMania, though. I mean, not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. That's when I didn't understand why people turned on him. It's like they knew, but it's like that's the time when the Daniel Bryan fans made me sick. It was like, all right.
The smart march wanted Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan can't stay healthy.
Stop it already. Daniel Bryan already won a WrestleMania. calm the fuck down. Like, let somebody else try to shine. Like, Daniel Bryan's fans are worse than CM Punk's fans.
Oh, I can't stand Daniel Bryan either. I can't stand that guy.
Daniel Bryan had.
He's a good wrestler, though.
Matches in ROH.
He was a good wrestler, but like everything else, he comes to the WWE and he didn't do shit.
No, he was good.
Daniel Bryan, towards the end, all he did was he'd throw you into the corner, he'd run and throw himself at you, a la Jeff Hardy.
Basically, bro, he's like Kurt Angle at this point. He's basically a shell of himself.
Well, I also think, I'm pretty sure just like CM Punk, with Daniel Bryan's true moveset, WWE is probably like, nope, can't do that, can't do that, we won't let you do that. But, I see what you mean, though. Like, I got tired of Daniel Bryan after a while, because I used to enjoy really watching his matches, but his fans were just, like, too annoying. They were just too much, just like CM Punk fans. Like, all right, I get it, you missed the guy. Shut the fuck up about it already. He's not going to magically come back out of nowhere. Stop fucking chanting his name.
Listen, if you want to watch CM Punk, he'll be debuting pretty soon in UFC.
Getting his ass beat.
Where he's gonna fight some guy you see at your local MMA.
Well, no, you know that they were trying to book him against that Green Ranger.
Who's the Green Ranger?
The Green Ranger, the guy who played. The guy.
Oh, really? The actual Green Ranger.
He's an actual martial artist.
That would be so.
No,
that guy who was playing the Green Ranger wanted that fight, but that's not
right. But apparently, he was trying to get top billing on it.
Really?
And Dana White was like,
"Fuck out of here!"
Like,
go ahead, record another one of those.
Made for
back
YouTube.
In the sun, YouTube.
Like,
that was actually a good Power Rangers.
He was like, "Go hit up Kimbo Slice, see if you can get a main event." Bellator. They'll put anybody on. They don't give a fuck. They're hurting for ratings.
Shout out to Spike.
I actually sat down and watched Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice fight.
You saw that? You watched that fight?
I watched that too.
I saw the highlight of it. There was
no highlight.
Just a knockout. Like,
it was so bad because it was like, oh man, Ken Shamrock was like, oh man, this is what it's like to get hit in the face again. All right, I'm out.
I think he had one eye open too.
Like Ken Shamrock. I was talking about this to one of my buddies.
Why is he still doing
UFC
this?
fan. Like Ken Shamrock really gets a lot of credit for not really doing shit. Like, he lost way more than he
wasn't it, like, even when at his peak, wasn't his UFC record like 4-1?
No.
Like, he wasn't even...
No. He's only won 2 UFC fights ever.
Really?
That's it. I looked it up.
For real?
2.
Then why is he so famous?
I don't fucking know.
His brother did better than he did.
He had one classic match. It was a draw. Back then, they had time limits. They just ran out of time, and that was the fucking end. They didn't have judges. It went 45 minutes. It was him and Dan Severn. They went to a stalemate, basically. He won UFC 2 because another guy got hurt, so he ended up fighting as an alternate. Oh, he won 3 fights. I'm sorry. He beat a guy named Kimbo.
Right.
He got his ass beat by Tito. Got his ass twice.
Yeah.
He got beat by the guy who looks like Jim Carrey, Rich Franklin. I mean, he's gotten beat by everybody.
So basically, his WWE career was better than his UFC career.
Oh yeah, by far.
So it wasn't like Chuck Liddell, who like had a really good career at first, and then when he started losing, looked like pretty sad.
Then he started doing deodorant commercials.
When Chuck Liddell, his jawline went completely
yeah. I still remember that fight against Tito when he beat Tito, and I lost my fucking mind because Chuck was like up and coming. Tito was already the man. So I was
a big Tito fan too. I really like the assholes.
Because Tito was talking a hell of shit.
Surprise!
Tito was talking a lot of shit.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's segue into our top 5s list.
All right, our top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Pretty much any organization. If he was I'm thinking already in my head, should I include Chris Benoit? And I'm probably not.
You cannot include Chris Benoit because he's been Benoit.
You can put whoever you want. It's your personal top 5. Now, the caveat is that this isn't the top 5 actual wrestlers. Like, I don't want to hear people saying, this guy isn't a good wrestler. I'm talking about 5 favorites.
Yeah, like character-wise, like they entertain you. If they entertain you as a wrestler, then boom, yeah, top 5.
So, as usual, my list will win. So I'm gonna go last this time. I'm gonna go last.
I can go first. I mean, because I already know my top 5. My number 1, my favorite of all time. I think is like basically my first 2 is like favorite of all time, but number 1 is Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage. He like to me. I knew he was my favorite when I believe it was WrestleMania 3 when he fought 3 times same night to win the belt. And then that dude was just always a worker. He was a workhorse. He had a great match with Ricky Steamboat. Had personality like crazy. Maybe that part was him. Maybe the other part was Coke. I don't know. But he had some of the great promos. If you want to know what a cool promo is, just listen to the Cream Rises to the Top by Macho Man and Randy Savage. It's one of the most classic, coolest promos, and you can tell he's on something, but he's making sense though. But anyway, heel, face, it doesn't matter. Macho Man will captivate you. Number 2 was Roddy Piper. Again, back in the day when I was growing up, it was like cool to like the heels. So it wasn't that, you didn't like Hulk Hogan or anything like that, but it's like, you're like, what the hell is this Roddy guy doing? And it was one of the best calls of all time. Just when you think you know all the answers, I change the questions. Roddy was one of those dudes, like, he could talk and you'll just pay attention. And then, again, wrestling-wise, had a cool-ass finisher, the sleeper hold. He talked a lot of shit and he backed it up, so that's number 2. Number 3 for me is Randy Orton. I used to be a really, really more...
Randy Orton?
Yeah, Randy motherfucking... He's been in a job like 10 years now. He qualifies.
Okay. Anybody qualifies, it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, his mic skills aren't that great, but if you're like, everybody's looking at me like, oh my God, Randy Orton, really? If you want to see the apex of Randy Orton and what I'm talking about, check out when he was going against Triple H as a heel. Probably some of his best work. One of my favorite moments, having Triple H handcuffed and then doing the DDT off the apron on Stephanie McMahon, then kissing her right before he RKO'd Triple H. He really was, during his time when he was, right when he was like Psycho Randy, or from going as the Legend Killer to basically Crazy Randy that had the emotion problems, was some of his best heel work. Now he would go from punting people in the head to basically beating the shit out of John Cena, and some of the best reversals of the, attitude adjustment I've ever seen. I think now
he's a one-trick pony.
Well, yeah, now I'm starting to realize I mainly like him now because of the RKO, really.
Because it's out of nowhere.
It's out of nowhere, and it's great. This year, probably one of the best RKOs I've ever seen off of Seth Rollins. Yeah, when he went from the curb stomp, Randy lifted him up. The dude was like 10 feet in the air. RKO'd him. Another great RKO was when John Cena went to RKO him. Randy turned into, attitude adjustment. Randy turned to RKO, broke the table with it. It was, I don't know, like, I think nowadays it's more of the RKO, but back then he had some really great heel moments.
He basically turned into DDP.
yeah.
DDP gave him that move, by the way. And then Randy Orton wanted to shit on him.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was DDP's move first, but Randy modified it, and I think it's better than DDP's anyway. So
it's the same exact fucking move.
It's a little different.
The original move was the Ace Cutter, and neither of them did it. But that's
a whole nother. But DDP made it famous, though. People were marking for DDP. Nobody gave a fuck about the Ace Cutter.
Self high five.
Yes.
That was DDP yoga.
Number 4.
Lives.
This is where the list gets a little crazy. Number 4 is The Rock. May not be the greatest wrestler out there, but the dude's an entertainer. He's the only dude I've ever seen own a city. And when I say own a city, that means came out in Toronto, look it up on YouTube, and shitted on the city to the point where they just gave up and started applauding him. And Rock's like, you don't applaud The Rock. So, yeah, Rock is like, I could hear him talk all day. He really, when it comes to mic skills, it's really nobody else that's touching him. The only person that might be close early in the career, maybe not later on, is my number 5, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of the few guys I know, not only will do it in the ring, but actually on the mic. I remember in WCW, he went and tried to name all his moves. He had against people and like took up everybody's time. Right? And he was naming the same moves over and over. Armbar. Yeah. Chris Jericho is the ultimate troll. Chris Jericho was the ultimate wrestling troll. And I mean,
shout out to ECW.
Yes, and WCW and New Japan Wrestling, everywhere Chris Jericho went, and he always, every time he came back, I mean, later on he wasn't as good, but back then he would always change his style, always change. If he became a face again, he was a different face than he was before. If he became a heel again, he became a different heel than he was before. Chris Jericho always entertained you. One of my favorite matches of all time, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, went and did Shawn Michaels' moves because he knew, he grew up watching Shawn Michaels, so paid homage to the dude while trying to beat him.
He was still a better wrestler in WCW, though.
Most people were better wrestlers in WCW.
Well, but WCW didn't really restrict you like WWF did. Yeah, but that's my top 5, basically.
That's a solid top 5.
Yeah, I can't really complain about anything other than maybe one.
What, Randy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the RKO...
But I like Randy Orton,
I like
too.
Randy, and I know you guys are going to shit on one of mine, so
no.
I don't care.
I wanted to throw Brock in there, but that's like...
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Brock has some good matches.
Yeah, Brock had, with Kurt Angle. Look at Brock and Kurt Angle.
Brock Lesnar needs to sign another deal where I only have to see him three times a year.
Suplex City, bitch.
Well, I'm going to take my list from old to new.
Okay.
And the number one's the Ultimate Warrior.
Really?
You should already orbit the Ultimate Warrior.
When I was a kid, Ultimate Warrior. When I was a kid,
is number 2 Batista?
Oh God, no. When I was a kid, Ultimate Warrior. When I was on my Hawaiian Punch high was that shit. I used to fucking try to emulate him all the time because he's the only one you could. He didn't have to speak no English because, he wasn't cutting the best promos because nobody understood what the fuck he was saying.
Yo, he was talking about, like, elves and fucking volcanoes.
But I just like the whole...
Speaking of elves, and speaking of Ultimate Warrior, if you want to read the most fucked up comic book of all time...
Oh, his comic book?
Really?
Ultimate Warrior, where he ties up and butt fucks Santa Claus.
Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, read it. It happened. In his comic book, he ties up Santa Claus and butt fucks him.
Wait, I know who's...
Well, I didn't know about this comic book, so he's still in my list. All right?
Look
Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. You and Roddy and Dusty chilling right now.
This is just very dark. I'm scared.
My next one on my list is Razor Ramon.
Yes,
Razor Ramon was that dude.
I miss
I don't know if in real life, because I don't think he is. If he's Hispanic,
I don't think so.
But growing up,
shout out to WWE racism.
Yeah.
Scott Hall is Italian.
Yeah, growing up being a Puerto Rican kid, he was Miami, so he wasn't even Puerto Rican, but he was Hispanic, so it was cool.
They never told you what kind of Spanish.
He was good.
Basically, he was meant to be Cuban.
Yeah, he was in Miami, but.
Great finisher, by the way.
Awesome finisher. He also killed it on mic, and he let people not go on top, but he let people become face. 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Except for Shawn Michaels.
He put people over. And then he had those awesome matches with Shawn Michaels also.
The ladder match, great match with Diesel, too.
All right. Next on my list is The Rock. Again, maybe not the best wrestler. The move... Other than the rock bottom was good.
First of all, your suspension of belief for people's elbow. The worst one was Booker T's scissor kick. Because Booker T had to hit the rope while you're bent over for like 10 seconds.
Exactly.
So you don't like the spin of Rudy?
That's why I don't like Dean Ambrose's stupid in between the ring. Like people are waiting there. All right, Dean, come on. I'm on the other side of the ring here. I'm waiting for you to go in between and come back out. Anyways, The Rock, awesome on the mic, and he's probably the one who transitioned the best into
movies.
I mean, although no holds bar,
great movie.
My shit.
And The Nanny. Hey, Hulk Hogan was good in that one. He was a male nanny.
3 Ninjas, Part 3.
Rocky 3.
My next on the list is Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I think Stone Cold changed the game.
Yeah.
I mean...
He made it cool to like wrestling.
There wouldn't be a Rock without a Stone Cold because Stone Cold was really the first one going out there just saying whatever the fuck he wanted, taking it off the cusp.
The Austin 316 speech was pretty cool.
You know what I'm saying? Another ECW guy, you know what I mean? Well, in WCW, ECW.
Yeah. He was mainly WCW.
Yeah.
But then he came into WWE as the ring master.
Yeah, but then he went into ECW, and that's where he really, working with Paul Heyman, learned how to fucking be on the mic. And then, guess what happened? He came to WWF, and he was the ringmaster. He didn't say shit.
He was the first $1 million champion, other than
Virgil.
Ted DiBiase. Yeah.
Wow. Speaking about racist, what up, Virgil? Man slave. Shout out to Vince. That was really his.
Oh my god.
He did get paid a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen Virgil at the signings? You know the signings where they have the old wrestlers there? His booth is always empty. And it's always sad because he's just there. It's like, hey, it's Virgil. And you're like, but...
Nobody wants to go to the modern-day slaves box. Now, my next one is one that you guys I'm sure know, but not everybody probably knows. He's a new for WWE or NXT is Finn Balor. Finn Balor is the
He's
truth.
already in your top 5?
You like him already?
I dig Finn Balor. I don't think he's going to be as good in the WWE.
That interest is too...
No, he is not.
That,
fuck you and fuck Michael J.
That double boot stomp is kind of over. Like, let's see something else. The one thing I'll give him credit for...
he had wrestling matches with Neville in Japan that were amazing.
The one thing I'll give him credit for, in Japan, he started the Bullet Club, which is really cool, like, gang and... wrestling group, AJ Styles is in it, and they look dope as shit. They got their own hand signs and shit, and they pretty much take over everything. They won all the belts and everything.
They're like the Cruiserweight NWO.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's
sure Chris, I think Chris has talked about it many a time.
He's the one who put me on the Bullet Club, actually.
So, yeah, Bullet Club's pretty cool, so I'll give you that. But Finn Balor's entrance, I don't think that's going to work in
That's the future, man. Finn Balor's the future.
When I first saw the entrance, I was like, what the fuck is that?
He's going to be face and cool about it. You know what I'm saying?
Finn Balor is going to be Evan Bourne.
Oh, no.
Don't say that.
I'm telling you right now.
Oh,
him and Neville and Evan Bourne are going to be hanging out.
Best thing Evan Bourne ever did was take that RKO from the top rope.
Pancakes at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Anyway, that's my list. I stand by it.
That's a pretty good list. You know, surprised Undertaker's not on anybody's list so far.
He's not going to be on my list.
There you go.
That's because we don't want to get sued like Meek Mills is.
So my list, and I know I'm going to have to defend it, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Number 1 for me.
Doink the Clown.
Actually, I actually did like Doink.
So
Evil Doink was pretty,
really?
Evil Doink was pretty funny.
No, number 1 for me is The Rock.
Yeah, okay.
So we all had that. I'm not going to recap.
Yeah, he piggybacked off my shit.
I mean,
my shit. I was an original Rock fan.
Number 2, nobody mentioned him. I'm surprised. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he'll be in my top 10. Like Bret Hart. Like Bret Hart will be number 6 for me.
Yeah, he'd be in the top 10 for me.
When he I was
gone for a while.
I was a super huge Rockers fan, and when he put Marty Jannetty through the glass, I was like, oh man, I remember being a little kid, I was crushed.
See, this is my problem with Shawn Michaels.
Great heel.
Like if it was a top 5 tag teams, they'd be in there.
Or top 5 mid card wrestlers type of. This is my problem with Shawn Michaels. The work he did when he came back, like in the 2000s, was nowhere touching the work he was doing before he got hurt. Like, he was carrying the company on his back before he got hurt. His matches were awesome.
He had a broken back. What do you expect? He came back and still put in work.
Yeah, but hey, listen, injuries happen, though. Injuries happen. Like, I mean, his best match was, the elimination match with Triple H?
No, he had a good match.
What, the elimination?
And then he had a match with God was his tag team partner.
An Iron Man match with Bret Hart?
No, I'm talking about, like, when he came back from the injury.
Yeah, the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, no, that was another match. But the Iron Man match with Bret Hart was one of my favorites. But I'm saying when he came back, he tag teamed with God to fight Vince McMahon.
But guess who wrote that?
You know what? Yeah. Shawn Michaels had enough to be like, no, nigga, we're not doing that.
He was hating blacks and Christians all the same day.
my number 3 wrestler, CM Punk. I am one of those CM Punk. I'm not one of those CM Punk fans that are like, I wouldn't be able to chant his name now. He's gone. He's done.
Yeah,
I appreciate his work, what he did. He did some of the best new age heel work. When he sang "Happy Birthday" to Rey Mysterio's daughter,
that was creepy as fuck.
That's cold-blooded shit right there.
And Summer of Punk was good.
Fantastic. He kind of brought back the stable, kind of gimmick type of thing. That straight edge movement where he wasn't really even being a bad guy. People didn't like him because he didn't drink.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
No, I like CM Punk. And his skill set was dope. I like the go to sleep.
Yeah.
The pipe bomb. Oh, he had so many classic promos. He
had great promos. I mean, I wish they would let him do more of his moves that he was doing back in.
Another Paul Heyman, man.
Yeah. Number 4, my favorite wrestler growing up. I have to piggyback. Razor Ramon.
Yeah. I really wish I had Razor on my list. I loved Razor Ramon.
My favorite match of all time included 2 of my top 5, which was Razor Ramon HBK, WrestleMania 10, that ladder match.
Yes, a great match. Walked right through the ladder and everything.
Didn't give a shit.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Say hello to the bad guys.
And then my number 5, this is the one I'm going to defend.
Okay. Here we go.
It's New Jack.
Mr. Play music through my whole fucking match.
Let me tell you
Mr. I got warrants.
Let me tell you why.
I'm going to throw you off here and hope you die, New Jack.
Mr. I beat up a 16-year-old.
Let me tell you why.
Are you serious?
New Jack was not the best wrestler.
He wasn't a wrestler, period.
New Jack was not the greatest talker. But New Jack is the only wrestler that didn't realize that wrestling was fake. New Jack is about that fucking life.
cheese grater on deck.
He doesn't give a shit about nothing.
Oh my God.
Paul Heyman didn't pay anybody except for New Jack.
New Jack was one, if you take an ex-con, he was like, listen.
I hear New Jack is still fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
Listen, he's married to Sable.
See, New Jack would go in.
Yeah.
Not Sable. No.
Well, one of them.
Marlena.
Marlena, yeah.
Goldust's ex-wife.
No, Sable's with Brock, my bad.
New Jack would walk into the office and be like, Paul, I heard you ain't got no money. No, I got your money. I got your money, Jack. I got your money.
Don't hurt me.
I didn't want to have any problems. So I brought this shopping cart full of weapons with me. But he was like, but that's your gimmick. I don't have a fucking gimmick. This is my life. I'm homeless. This is my fucking life. This is what I sleep in.
If you don't believe us, just look at New Jack's forehead. All right?
Word. I don't know who's... New Jack's forehead was worse than Dusty's forehead. And Dusty's been in that business for like 30, 40 years.
What about Mala, the other like big black dude? Like his forehead was all wrinkly and fucked up.
The guy who got electrocuted at a Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
But like New Jack had some pretty good matches. Even when he was tag team, when they were the Eliminators, that was a good tag team in ECW.
Listen, you didn't wrestle New Jack. You survived New Jack.
I don't care what none of you guys say. Don't tell me you weren't watching ECW, and then when that fucking song hit, you weren't hype as fuck.
Because I need some fucked up shit.
That's because I was young and I was like, yes, someone's getting hurt.
Yes.
I'm about to see some blood in the ring.
When you heard fucking Natural Born Killers by Ice Cube, you were like, some nigga shit about to happen right now.
You know what? I'm mad that I first heard it with Samoa Joe, but New Jack's chant should have been New Jack's gonna kill you. New Jack's gonna kill you. Wow, New Jack. That was just a grinding. Why was he working?
New fucking Jack. He's still wrestling somewhere in some backyard.
Honorable mention for me. Is the one and only Olympic hero Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle's matches were great.
It's true.
Kurt Angle used to suplex the shit out of a nigga. Like, it didn't matter where.
City.
Yeah.
Between him and Taz.
And him and Benoit. But one of my favorite...
You shall not speak of the man.
Listen, we're not getting paid by WWE. Until WWE pays us, I'm telling you that man's name. That man existed, y'all. One of my favorite matches, and because it was so cool, because it was so fucked up, like, was when he was going against, I'll never forget, No Way Out against Shane McMahon, and he was trying to throw him to the glass, and the glass would break, and he was tugged, and Shane was sliding down. He looked at Shane, he said, we're going to do this again. Shane was like, no.
We gonna break this glass. It's going to be dope. Get ready.
Trust me. Shout out to Shane for taking more bumps than anybody.
Shane McMahon put his life on the line more than probably any other wrestler.
You know what the crazy thing about Chris Benoit is?
What?
Chris Benoit is the only person to ever put on a finisher to somebody that didn't kick out. You know who it was?
Who?
Nancy Benoit and his daughter.
Oh my God. Oh.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the show.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Drop the mic on that one.
End it there.
Yeah, let's end it there.
Thank you for listening to the wrestling special.
Thank you for all the people that listen to once and probably won't listen again after that one.
Next episode, Dion will be Benoit. You won't be hearing from him.
No mention of him.
The Cripper crossface strikes again.
Yep, he was always one headbutt away from murder.
Jeez, dude.
All right, well, guys, thanks for listening. We'll be here every week, hopefully with some new specials. If you need to know, or if you want to send us some emails, Dion, what's the email address again?
It is the shadeshowpodcast@gmail.com. Especially if you want to tell me how much you agree with my Chris Benoit segment.
Oh my God.
Let me know.
Chris, go ahead and send those emails to us, because we know we're going to get some. You're going to tell us about the stuff that we misquoted, I'm sure.
Yeah, Chris is going to be our guy, like, pardon the interruption. He's going to be at the end of the show, give us our corrections for anything we got wrong.
Yes, that guy. On our next wrestling podcast, we're going to have you call in, actually. Because you're the wrestling encyclopedia. We need to have your knowledge.
Word.
Especially, like, your knowledge of, like, old school, like, shit, organizations I never heard of before.
Yeah, like, what is it, Chikara or whatever?
Chikara. Actually, there's another guy, he doesn't really comment that much in the wrestling thing, Adam, that I used to work with at the Hartford. And him and Chris, if we had, like a wrestling knowledge battle, I think it would be pretty close between the both of them.
Yeah. I put Mike in there, too, because he be spitting, like, dates and event.
Yeah, he knows like the dates and events.
All I want to say is shout out to Lucha Underground.
Mike's not gonna have enough time to be involved in a wrestling battle when he's always trying to find like cops killing people. Not enough.
Well, there's a new one he found with the cops throwing food at the homeless guy.
Yeah, like he's got. We'll talk about.
Anyways, we could have a whole show on that, guys. But thanks for listening. Check out the Shade Show. It's gonna be on YouTube. Feel free to check us out. Appreciate the love.
All right.
Until next time.
Later.